Hallo Leute, willkommen zu einer weiteren Folge von Genshin Impact. Letztes Mal haben wir die ganzen Hinweise hier gesammelt, die wir gebraucht haben, um eine Idee zu haben für das Verfahren und wie wir eben die Leni und Lynette da gut stehen lassen können, beziehungsweise ihre Unschuld beweisen können, aber wir haben nicht wirklich etwas Klares gefunden. Und ja, jetzt ist aber Zeit für die Verhandlung, das heißt, es wird schön. So, Aussichtspunkt. Es sieht jetzt schon ganz anders jetzt aus irgendwie, wo es eigentlich schon mal das gleiche Setting ist, aber irgendwie mit dem Wissen, dass es jetzt ein Verfahren ist, ist die Atmosphäre ganz anders. Aber ja, lassen wir das Verfahren beginnen. Ich habe ein paar Gedanken. Oh ja.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands.
Und na, wir haben auch letzte Folge kennengelernt noch.
Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
True.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then. Best of luck to you.
Danke, weil wir brauchen es definitiv. Ich weiß nicht, wie wir das hier retten sollen. So, die Verhandlung geht los.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
Nicht so gut.
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed. Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Warten nur, bald wirst du es verstehen.
Since both parties are present,
hallo,
I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session.
Okay.
Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Natürlich.
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Okay. Er enthüllt prägnant und in aller Deutlichkeit die Tricks des Zaubers. Alle Anwesenden sind fassungslos
Thank you,
und
Mr.
still.
Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yep.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Aussage gegen Aussage.
Of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Ja, das macht richtig Sinn.
Is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
Ja.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
Wir hatten aber dieses komische Geräusch.
But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Ja.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Wie konnte Lenny den gar nicht gehört haben? Ja. Weil dem ist
I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
Das ist nicht gut.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Oh, das sieht nicht gut aus.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Sie repräsentiert vermutlich die Haltung der Oatrice.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
Ah, deswegen ist mir das bekannt vorkommen. Die beiden sind von ZOWIE. Stimmt, Haus des Kamans, das hört man in einer Quest in der Wüste, hört man davon. Dass das eine ist. Die beiden sind von ZOWIE? Okay, das habe ich jetzt nicht erwartet. Das muss aber nichts heißen. Wir wissen, das Schalt, dass es nicht immer unbedingt als Schlechtes muss sein.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Ja, okay, das habe ich nicht erwartet.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy.
Das stimmt.
Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Ah, okay.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
Weil es nicht relevant wirklich ist. Linny und Lynette sind von ZOWIE.
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
Ein Zauber ist auf jeden Fall in der Lage, andere hinter sich zu führen. Angst der Art und Weise, wie Linny seine Identität verborgen hat, könnte dies alles im Voraus arrangiert worden sein. Außerdem ist der Graf zusammen mit anderen Mitarbeitern des Hauses Kamens hier in Fontaine. Sie müssen irgendwas geplant haben. Ich wurde schon früher von den ZOWIE getäuscht und jetzt? Nein.
Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
Oh Gott.
I knew it.
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Herr Richter, darf ich etwas sagen?
Granted.
Okay. Mein Mandant hat einige wichtige Informationen zurückgehalten.
In that case, what is your request?
Es gibt eine Kurzvertagung. Es gibt Dinge, die wir besprechen müssen.
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
Ich bezweifle es ganz stark.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought.
Nur weil sie aus dem ZOWIE-Haus kommen, heißt das
Dear
nichts.
audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Wie gesagt, da stimmt irgendwas nicht. Während die Verhandlung vertragt wird, trifft ihr euch mit Linny und Lynette hinter der Bühne des Opernhauses.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon just knew where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys.
Sind sie auch wahrscheinlich, glaube ich nicht.
Not to set the wrong
Oder?
tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain.
Ich bin
I
offen.
know you've clashed with the Vatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset.
Ja, wir haben wirklich ganz
But
viel
our
mit denen zu tun.
organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
Ihr steht unter aller
That's right.
Kino, könnte das sein?
I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends.
Und das wurden wir auch.
That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead.
Ja.
The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
Was sagt uns, dass dies nicht nur eine weitere Lüge ist?
Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
In diesem Fall?
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but...
Wo warst du, als der Zauber vorgeführt wurde?
Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask.
Okay, jetzt bin ich
We've been
gespannt.
trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it.
Okay.
From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Oh, okay.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
Scheint so, ja.
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
Okay.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Und was hast du herausgefunden?
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice.
Okay.
Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room.
Also.
That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came.
Okay.
On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought.
Okay.
After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Ja.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Ja, das erklärt das. Er wollte herausfinden, wie die Oratrice funktioniert.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course, we must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
Und du glaubst, die Maschine
That's
hätte
the
das zu
only way
tun?
we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time.
Okay.
It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either.
Keine Sorge, ich vertraue dir zwar noch immer.
But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Ich glaube an Fakten. Wenn du nicht der Täter bist, werde ich dich weiterhin verteidigen.
Okay, thank you.
Kein Problem.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two.
Aber
If
noch
we
nicht.
want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Tatsächlich haben wir bereits die entscheidenden Beweise in unseren Händen.
Huh?
Die Vertagung ist fast vorbei. Lass uns zurückgehen.
Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
Linnys Aussage. Nachdem Linny den Tunnel betreten hatte, gelangte er durch die Lüftungsöffnung in den Raum, in dem der Oratrice-Kern aufbewahrt wurde. Daher wurde er auch nicht Zeuge dessen, was in diesem Tunnel vorfiel und konnte folglich auch nicht den dumpfen Knall hören. Stimme der Oratrice-Kernkammer. Linny gibt an, er habe eine mysteriöse Stimme der Oratrice-Kammer vernommen, die sich unter dem Opernhaus befindet. Und die könnte irgendwas mit dem Fall zu tun haben, nämlich der dritte Verdächtige, den wir suchen. Weil die zwei Opfer könnten es nicht sein, der Angeschuldigte auch, die Geschuldigten können es nicht sein. Und diese dritte Person jetzt, die auch existent ist, wie scheint, könnte dann diese Person sein. Die Vertagung ist vorbei und der spannende Prozess wird wieder aufgenommen.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial.
Oh ja, let's go.
When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
That took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linny's perspective.
Objection. Ermittelt anhand der Schilderung der Ereignisse der Gegenseite, welche Aspekte der Aussage nicht stichhaltig sind. Anhand der Beweise und Hinweise, die im Laufe der Untersuchung des Falls gewonnen wurden, könnten die unhaltbaren Aspekte des Falls widerlegt und durch neue Schlussfolgerungen ersetzt werden. Wenn das Publikum mit einem Gegenargument überzeugt, kann das zu mehr Unterstützung für den eigenen Standpunkt führen. Die Urteils wird diese Veränderung deutlich machen. Sobald alle unhaltbaren Aspekte identifiziert wurden, also man berät bei der Uhr oder Ende, Aspekte identifiziert wurde und widerlegt sind, wird der Widerlegungskreis abgeschlossen wird offenbart. Oh Gott, das wird witzig.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel.
Okay.
When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud.
Nein.
He did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her.
Nein, auch nicht.
At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed. So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident.
War es aber nicht. So.
And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description?
The key
Yeah.
to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Linny experienced and what he saw.
Ja. So. Also im ersten Punkt. Lily hat den betrat den Tunnel, als der Countdown begann. Das müsste ja richtig sein. Hier, nach Widersprüchen suchen. Betritt dagegen die Öffnung. Ja, hier.
According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel.
Hm.
He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
Ja. So, nach Widersprüchen suchen, aber fand sich nicht so, dass wirklich im Tunnel. Aber eine mysteriöse Stimme, da liegt es, die sich verwirrt haben. Okay, warte, hier, während des Austauschs des Zauberstoff war dafür schon, Nein, das war's nicht, okay, vielleicht das? Ja, okay, ist das.
Linny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
Ja. Dann hier, das Kleid wahrscheinlich, oder? Ja.
Linny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Ich glaube, wir haben's.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say!
Oh Gott. Jetzt wird's witzig.
When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored.
Yep.
Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately.
Ah, Paimon, du bist so gut, ey.
The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again. And in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time.
Ja.
Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
So, voila. Und jetzt ist es wieder ausgeglichen, wie es scheint. Erfolgreich widerlegt. Yes! Okay.
Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to say all that!
Yep.
Wasn't it awesome?
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
Aber wenn er in diesem Raum ist, nein. Außerdem halte ich die Argumentation der Klägerin für fehlerhaft.
My reasoning?
Die Requisiten auf der Bühne wurden absichtlich von jemandem manipuliert.
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Ja.
Oh, they have a point.
Ja.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine.
Oh ja.
They've managed. Oh,
Ups.
well, your denial is very strident. I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims?
Erinnerst du dich noch daran, wie du Linnys Alibi widerlegt hast?
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound?
Er war ja gerade
Why'd
nicht
you
da.
ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Nein. Deine Aussage ist jetzt zu meiner Waffe geworden. Bitte wähle den... Oh Gott. Heißt das bekannt mal, sie kam zu sauber schon Stress abzubauen. Sie hat keine Streitigkeiten oder so. Okay, deswegen haben wir Dings. Ladies aus. Nach dem Turmbetritt der gelangerte Schlürfstunde. Kein Zusammenhang. Okay, also hier. Ein- und Ausgänge des Opernhauses. Während der Zauberschrift fließt niemand von hier das Opernhaus. Und nach dem Vorfall durften diejenigen, die der Identität von der Gendarmerie bestätigt wurden. Heißt das eine relativ bekannte Bahn. Sie kam zu Zaubershow, um Stress abzubauen. Sie hat keine Stress. Verstehst du das?
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? Paimon thinks there's something off here.
Okay. Das war's nicht. Seltsames Geräusch?
That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance.
Ja, weil er bei dem Kern war.
This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement via the vent.
Yep.
The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has
Paimon!
become the best proof. How do you like that?
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Da ist eine gute Frage. Der Täter war... Wähle die Zahnräder auf dem Bildschirm, um die entsprechende Fallabfrage uns zu zeigen. Wähle die jeweiligen Antworten, fülle alle freien Felder aus, um die Richtigkeit deiner Schlussfolgerung zu überprüfen. Im Fall eines Fehlers musst du erneut aus den verbleibenden Möglichkeiten wählen. Sobald alle Fragen richtig beantwortet wurden, ist die Beweiskette abgeschlossen. Oh Gott! Ja, in der Mitte der Gendarmerie zufolge entzündeten die vor Ende der Zauberstab gezündete Feuerwerkskript das Seil, an dem Wassertank befestigt war, wodurch dieser herunterfällige Chaos Tod verursachte. Ja. Nachdem Lenny von jeglichem Verdacht freigesprochen wurde, waren nur noch die restlichen Mitglieder der Zauberroute, die sich an den Zauberrequisiten hätte zu schaffen machen können. Lenny erkannte ausführlich, wie der Zaubertrick funktionieren sollte. Mit Hilfe des doppelt beschichteten Schranks sollte das ausgewählte Mädchen aus dem Publikum, das in den Schrank befand, durch einen Tunnel auf die andere Seite transportiert werden. Lenny selbst sollte diesen Tunnel ebenfalls nutzen, um auf die andere Seite zu gelangen. Währenddessen übernahm Lynette nach dem Kostümwechsel und der Assistent gemeinsam die Interaktion auf der Bühne. Das Kleid der vermissten Halsey wurde aus einem unbekannten Grund im Tunnel zurückgelassen. Wähle einen beliebigen Hinweis, um die Informationen im Detail anzusehen.
Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility?
Wir haben eine Stimme gehört. Spur wählen. Schlussfolgerung falsch. Okay.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Ich glaube auch, weil er war verantwortlich für die Requisiten. Ich nehme an, dass er selbst verantwortlich ist.
That can't be right. Are you serious?
Ja.
The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
Oh, is that so? How interesting! Let's hear your reasoning then.
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Ja. Oh Gott.
No
So.
one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So, where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey?
Wahrscheinlich Spur wählen?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Ja, das nehmen wir definitiv, das ist nicht schlecht.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. So, there must have been some fear that she would attract attention.
Ja.
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal.
Ja. Und das hier?
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
Yep. Und das hier?
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Lenny as well.
Ich nehme mal
The
das.
sound we heard may have...
Das? Nee. Ah, ja, gut.
The deceased's name is
Also das, ja.
Halsey's clothing.
Ja.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment. It
Das.
would have been tough for both people. No one entered or left the...
Das hier. Nee. Okay. Boah, da sind so noch die
Halsey's
4.
clothing was... No one entered or left. The sound we heard may have...
Okay.
The sound we heard may have come...
Nee,
The
warte mal.
sound we heard may have...
Ja, ich bin
It would have
durcheinander.
been tough for both people.
Ich habe keine Ahnung.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that...
Auch falsch, ja. Das ist relativ unklar. Wie konnte man vorher wissen, dass Lene keine Möglichkeit hatte, das Verbrechen zu verhindern?
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. Lenny was not in the tunnel at...
Wie lässt sich beweisen, dass es im Tunnel zu einer Auseinandersetzung kam?
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. No one entered or left...
Das ist
The
das hier?
sound we heard may...
Wer ist der derzeitige
The
Hauptverdächtige?
deceased's name is Cowell.
So. Wohin ist die vermisste Halsey verschwunden?
It would have been tough for both people to fit in... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel.
Das? Ne, ich verstehe es nicht. Ich bin zu blöd dafür. Aber es war das hier.
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into
Ja,
Lenny
aber das
as
hier macht
well.
doch keinen Sinn. Ich verstehe es nicht. Oder ist auch mal falsch. Der Täter muss die Methoden hinter Lenis Zauber gut gekannt haben. Abgesehen wie er starb, verfügt Cole alle Mittel, die er braucht, um das Verbrechen zu begehen. Der Selbstverkehr könnte wahrscheinlich vom Kampf zwischen Cole und Halsey herrühren. Leni war nicht einmal eine Minute lang im Tunnel. Diese eine Minute hätte Cole gereicht, um Halsey aus dem Zauberschrank auf der... Doch die Aussage des Garnraums zufolge betraten, verließ sich inzwischen nur mal, da wäre es unmöglich, das Gelände zu verlassen. Genau zu scheint davon, dass die Zuschauer ihn auf jeden Fall gesehen hätten, wenn er aus dem Zauberschrank gekommen wäre.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Ich habe keine Ahnung, wie das funktionieren soll. Wo um Himmels Willen ist dein Halsey? Weil ich bin zu dumm für solche Sachen.
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it. But it seems you're still far from the truth.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track? Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Ja, aber ich habe keine Ahnung.
That would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely.
Nee.
And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Aus dem Wassertrank verschwinden, so wie ich schon letzte Folge behauptet habe. Könnte es das Wasser gewesen sein?
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents. But do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
Oh no.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Wartet.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
Ja.
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal.
Yep. Ah, das geht nicht. So.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Yep. Hier.
The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
So. Deswegen konnten wir uns nicht richtig machen. Wir hatten nicht den letzten Beweis. Es war das Wasser. Schlussfolgerung richtig. So. Deswegen habe ich nichts bekommen, weil es war darauf abgesehen, dass wir es nicht schaffen. Weil wir das hier gebraucht haben, die Vase.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind.
Ja, voilà.
If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water.
Ja, weil dieser Trick wurde uns nicht erklärt.
Just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment.
Ah, ist aber gegangen, eine Magie-Show.
How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
Ich bitte um eine Durchsuchung von Karls persönlichen Gegenständen.
Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about two completely different things.
Ja.
Even so, I trust the traveler's judgment. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't
Weil das
make
stimmt, was
sense.
gewollt ich nicht mit der Vase.
Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him.
Ja.
But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
Ja.
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Nein, ist nicht.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make
Da
progress.
stimme ich dir zu. Wir brauchen mehr Beweise.
Please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased Cowl.
Bitte, danke. Kurz darauf kehrt ein Gendarm mit Neuigkeiten zurück. Okay, jetzt bin ich gespannt.
We
Jetzt
are
bin ich gespannt.
still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone
Okay,
post-haste.
Esmond, ich höre.
We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately.
Okay.
The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
Okay.
Primordial Sea.
Das Urmeer.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
Huh.
The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times.
Das ist sehr verdächtig.
One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty.
Also für Halsey.
The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject.
Huh.
As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
Ja.
You've got to be kidding. People dissolving into water?
Ja, das ist
Could
möglich.
something so ridiculous actually be true?
Haben vieles gesehen. Es ist möglich.
This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Sie liegt am Boden.
What about your partners?
Sie liegt nach unten. Deswegen ist sie nicht...
Trust me.
Es gibt ja keinen Ausgang.
Order!
Oh boy.
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found.
Weil sie im Tunnel ist. Hier ist das Wasser.
Please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Yep.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all.
Stimmt, den hatten wir ja gar nicht beachtet.
Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Ja. Wasser des Urmeers ist eine Flüssigkeit, die von der Gonda Marine Coles Gepäck gefunden wurde. Sie scheint die Fähigkeit zu haben, Menschen aus Fontaine Wasser aufzulösen. So.
The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and cut. As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank.
Das nehmen wir dann.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
Das.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of triggering mechanism.
Ha, ja, das könnte gut
The
sein.
water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box.
Okay, und das ist...
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she have something to do with this? I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
Vielleicht das? Nein, aber das war richtig. Okay.
The deceased's name is Cowell.
Das finde ich nochmal als richtig.
Lynette was in the magic box on the water from the primordial.
Das wäre richtig. Nein, aber er war richtig.
The water from the primordial.
Ich würde dann sagen, das.
The water from the primordial. Lynette was in the
Und
magic box.
ja, dann das, I guess. Nein? Hä, warum gibst du mir die zwei?
Now it seems like the hook rope.
So?
The water from the primordial.
So vielleicht? Ja. Okay. Boah. Es ist wirklich, also die Schlussfolgerungen sind nicht so gut gemacht, finde ich. Sie sind echt so spaßig. Weil es irgendwie komisch ist mit der Auswahl, finde ich.
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again!
Ja!
In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target.
Ja.
When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey.
Oh, ja.
Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Also...
That does make sense.
Ja.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Yep. Das ist wieder ausgeglichen.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person?
Ja.
What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led
Ja,
to Cal's
was
death.
hat's
His
gebracht?
notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
Vielleicht diese Stimme, die Lene wahrgenommen hat im Raum.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence.
Oh, was denn?
I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Okay, ist wieder der gleiche Typ? Nein, ist ein anderer, aber.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case.
Ja.
And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
Das wurde ihm zugelegt.
Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack.
Wenn es ein Kopist ist, der könnte es ohne Probleme hinlegen.
Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning.
Oh, das ist eine lange Folge, Alter.
to a swift close.
Oh, Widerlegung beginnt. Oh, boy.
Lenny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowell then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Lenny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime.
Ja, natürlich.
Ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization. Am I right, Mr. Lenny?
Nein, bist du nicht.
We used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here.
Doch, weil es gibt einen Komplizen.
Is this the end of the road?
Nein, da ist noch etwas. Oh, scheiße. Mir fällt auch nichts mehr vom Tunnel ein.
Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move. Oh, why did this have to happen now?
Weil er noch hier drin ist.
We've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale.
Uh-oh.
Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Du hast
Come
irgendwas
on,
gefunden.
don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linney, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Aber wie hast du den Wassertank-Trick gemacht?
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Lenny and Lynette, give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf.
Okay.
But as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
Okay.
And voila.
Da ist sie wieder.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
Huh.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowell. I admit it.
Okay.
What? Why?
Was?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt.
Okay.
I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one.
Oh.
That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before.
Warte.
But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
Du bist die Diebin.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were
Oh mein Gott, okay.
You even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee, but then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes.
Die haben wir
I
ausgecheckt.
slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Okay.
Can a person even hide in there?
Wenn diese Person ein Händchen fürs Verstecken hat, dann ist es gut möglich.
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it.
Wir haben noch den
Had I
Beweis mit dem
known
Seil.
that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
Das stimmt. Es ist an der Zeit, die Argumentation des Hydrakons zu widerlegen.
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lillian's perspective.
Ja. Und here we go. Weiter widerlegen. Widerlegung beginnt. Okay, also, hat den Tunnel betreten. So, Lilly hat sich aufgelöst. Nummern wählen. Vielleicht kommt das direkt hier? Nein, okay. Kommt es da vielleicht hier hin? Ich weiß nicht. Warte. Nein? Ich weiß nicht, was hier soll passen. Probiere mal, aber ich glaube nicht. Nee. Nee, ich bin confused. Ich spam auf jetzt alles. Ein dumpfes Geräusch. Dann das Kleid. Nee, nix hier. So, auch nix. Also.
The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lily-Ann's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
Okay. Aus ihrer Sicht eben. Vielleicht das hier, dass sie Angst hat.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between Lily-Ann and Cowell.
Ja. Das hier vielleicht. Nein. Dann das Kleid.
Lily-Ann was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time.
Okay. Und das war's? Okay.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time!
Oh boy.
Having been selected out of the blue, Lily-Ann panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard.
Ja.
Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lily-Ann had not dissolved.
Ja, wie er wollte.
He did not know that Lily-Ann was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket.
Also war Karl noch immer der Verdächtige.
Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lily-Ann back into the box.
Oh boy.
The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lily-Ann came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
Yep. Und dann ist sie vorbeigeschlichen. Und damit sind wir wieder im Ausgleich. Erfolgreich widerlegt. Boah, Alter. Das ist wirklich anstrengend. Aber es ist eine coole Idee. Ich komme auch nicht damit zurecht, weil ich nicht so weit denken kann oder wie das Spiel halt gerade erfordert. Aber die eigentlich extrem cool.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
Yep.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses.
Deswegen haben mal Paimon 2 gefehlt. Weil ich wusste es doch.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo! Bravo!
Und damit sind wir
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements?
Ich glaube, du hast nichts mehr.
Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No. I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow. Look at that. She's like a deflated balloon now.
Ein bisschen schon.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events.
Okay.
The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list.
Yep.
With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen.
Yep.
To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks.
Ja, voilà.
He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water.
Ja.
If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine,
Deswegen
and
war
thus
sie
fled the
safe.
box with a loud noise.
Ja, sie wollte ausbrechen.
Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed.
Ja.
However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house.
Ja, was möglich ist.
As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these
Und
happenings.
es scheint alles logisch.
From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent.
Ja.
While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
Okay. Cutscene? Whoa.
As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Ja.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Lass uns noch nicht feiern.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Ist der also...
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know.
Ist der Komplize.
Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dared to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes?
Oh ja, das kann gut sein. Oh, da haben wir jemanden.
I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders.
Befehle?
We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Huh.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve.
Wer ist dein
It can
Boss?
also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration.
Okay.
We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. The...
Oh. Er hat sich in Wasser verwandelt. Oh, Scheibenkleister.
Now he can no longer talk.
Oh,
Such
Scheibenkleister.
ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
Of them?
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Es war wahrscheinlich unter seinem Hut oder so. An Bord wird jedoch nichts außer der Fischschrecke gefunden, die nach der Auflösung von Vagan zurückgeblieben ist. Alter, was ist das für ein Plot-Twist nach Plot-Twist? Was läuft denn hier?
So, we're just going back now?
Yes, das Problem ist vorübergehend gelöst.
That's true, but...
Wer ist der Boss?
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Lenny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end. even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
Ich wollte einfach nicht, dass jemand fälschlicherweise beschuldigt wird.
I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight.
Okay, ich höre.
I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all.
Ja.
That was how Father, who you might know as the
Otiz.
Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
Lekino.
The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Ich hatte recht. Oh,
That's
Jesus.
right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past. Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there.
Okay.
To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever.
Okay, deswegen.
Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
Jesus.
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks.
Huh.
He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
Okay.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
Ausgenutzt, aber ein bisschen wohlhafter. Huh.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me.
Oh.
I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Jesus.
Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
Das war wahrscheinlich
As
nee,
far as
oder? Ah, nee,
outsiders
doch
are
nicht.
concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law.
Und was geschah da? Was geschah denn dann?
I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in,
Ja.
all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
Huh.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
Sie hat anscheinend eine richtig dunkle
right.
Seite.
She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans.
Jesus.
Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here.
Huh.
I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles.
Ja,
But
natürlich.
she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
Jetzt will Lekino das göttliche Herz erobern, nicht wahr?
She has her own plans.
Ihren eigenen
She
Plan?
has gained permission from the Saritsa to first use the Gnosis' power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
Kommt sie selbst aus Fontaine, oder wie?
She believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis.
Okay.
Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy.
Huh.
All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine.
Okay.
We won't give up on defending our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
Aber ich kann dir noch, immer noch nicht ganz vertrauen.
It's all right. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the house, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right.
Alter.
If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
Okay, ich verstehe. Und tschüss.
Bye, Linny.
Alter. Verlasse das Opernhaus. Alter. Also ein paar Theorien, die ich hatte, hat sich als wahr entstehen lassen. Oder Hypothese, die ich hatte. Boah, Alter. Oh, Navia, hallo. Alle Kino ist wirklich über ihn. Ihre...
With the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Scheint so.
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so too?
Was dies angeht.
Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Ich habe diesen Fall nur untersucht, um Leni zu verteidigen. Nicht um das massenhafte Verschwinden der Mädchen zu untersuchen.
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now?
Ja, wahrscheinlich schon.
Given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Ah, I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all.
Ja.
Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Wir helfen noch irgendwie aus.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer. Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later.
Okay.
Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
Auf geht's zum Abschiedsessen.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navia's treating, count Paimon in.
Natürlich.
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
Okay.
All right then, let's have our farewell meal.
Okay, dann machen wir das. Kapitel 1, erster Akt abgeschlossen. Also Kapitel 4, erster Akt abgeschlossen. So, Opfer des Luzinbrunnens. Opfer die Hydro-Siegel, die du bei deinem... Danke! Okay, das war ein immens geiler und cooler und, ich weiß nicht mal, so cooler Auftrag. Ich bin so gespannt auf den zweiten Akt, den wir nächste Folge machen werden. Ich bin so gespannt, was das hier alles zu bedeuten hat. Was wir rausfinden werden in diesem Jahrzehnten alten Fall. Was sich noch alles eignen wird. Wie alle Kino genau wird drauf sein. Ob sie uns vielleicht doch helfen wird, vielleicht sogar. Und wir nicht wirklich gegen die Vertürausweise gehen. Und es vielleicht mehr so eine Beziehung ist, die wir mit Child haben. So dass wir zwar manchmal gegeneinander kämpfen, aber irgendwie zurechtkommen. Oder ob das eine ganz fiese Angelegenheit wird. Aber ja. Ich weiß nicht, wie diese Folge aufgeteilt ist, ob ich sie komplett hochlade, so wie ist, weil dann haben wir 1 Stunde 4 oder so. Das wäre lange. Oder ob das in 2 aufgeteilt ist. Ich weiß es im Ersten nicht. Aber oh mein Gott. Aber ich glaube, ich habe das alles in einer Folge gehalten, wahrscheinlich angesichts, dass diese ganze Verhandlung wahrscheinlich schlecht wäre, aufzuteilen. Oder ich weiß noch nicht. Ihr seht ja, wieso am Endeffekt, wie es abläuft. Ich glaube aber, ich habe die Verhandlung wahrscheinlich zusammengelassen, weil, oh mein Gott. Holy. Aber ja, danke fürs Zuschauen. Ich hoffe, dass es euch gefallen ist beim nächsten Mal, wo wir den zweiten Akt beginnen und diese geile Storyline weiterverfolgen. Also ja, dann danke fürs Zuschauen und bis beim nächsten Mal. Tschö.